Tonight on Prime Business, government to soon pass a space policy which will propel Ghana among a league of countries pursuing space, science and technology for development.
Galamsey, as it is popularly called, has caused most of the water bodies in localities where it is practiced to become polluted. We want to strengthen our use of space technologies to safeguard and monitor those water resources.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Council of University at the University of Energy and Natural Resources is urging governments to address illegal mining holistically. We'll bring you details. Plus, stakeholders in the banking sector fear high inflation rate could negatively impact interest rates, affecting the loan books of lenders.
Definitely, they would increase what we are seeing both on non-food inflation and food inflation going up. The regulator would definitely have to consider all these variables and maybe adjust the MPC in the next meeting. So we believe that they will definitely edge up.
And the Ghana National Tomato Traders warn of a shortage of the vegetable, saying it will continue till the end of May.
Start getting tomato from the farm gates like Akomadine, Tiobodom, and then Eastern region, Begro, by next month.
We have all these stories coming up shortly, but we'll begin with commodities. Tonight, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has hinted that government will soon pass the Ghana Space Policy, which will propel the country among the league of countries pursuing space, science and technology for development. According to him, this will aid the economic development of the country. He was speaking at the 5th United Nations Ghana International Conference on the use of space technology for water resource management, organized by the University of Energy and Natural Resources. We have more in this report.
Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said the country's digitalization agenda has witnessed tremendous achievements since its inception. The government has so far introduced digital address systems, Ghana Card, mobile money interoperability, e-justice and paperless POS systems. Dr. Bawumia added that the country must take the path to introduce research technologies, amongst others, to fast-track development.
Illegal small-scale mining, or galamsey, as it is popularly called, has caused most of the water bodies in localities where it is practiced to become polluted, and as such progressively costly or again extremely difficult to treat for utilization. We want to strengthen our use of space technologies to safeguard and monitor those water resources and ensure their worth and quality are protected now and for future generations. Google Maps and other resources have helped to provide many opportunities in some cities in Ghana. Online taxi administrations have opened up as of late, decreasing the spate of joblessness. Delivery services to places hitherto difficult to locate or access have become commonplace through these space-supporting apps.
Dr. Bawumia urged participants to dig deep and find innovations that will onboard space technology to prevailing technologies.
Can all attest to prevailing technologies and services to us from the development and onward onboarding of space technologies. There are a lot of other opportunities available, and it is my sincere hope that we can all, by the end of this conference, deliver so much more on the options available to us as a nation and as united nations.
Meanwhile, chairman of the Council of University of Energy and Natural Resources, Professor Kwesi Nsia Jaba, in an interview with Joy Business, urged government to take drastic measures in addressing illegal mining in the country.
All of us, and we are asking government to take practical steps to address the challenges posed by water pollution, particularly through illegal mining activities in the country. The government in the past has assured us that he will put his presidency online. The president has said that he will put his presidency online, and if it means taking drastic measures to stop illegal mining, and that will cost his presidency, he is prepared to do that. And we are expecting that under the current system where water is being polluted, our land systems are all being destroyed, we expect the government to take decisive action, drastic action, to address these challenges.
The conference brought together the academia, government officials, technologists, amongst others.
A financial analyst and chief finance officer at the University of the Valley of University, Dr. William Supra, is projecting inflation could hit 40% by August this year if current trend continues and policymakers fail to act decisively. He therefore warns the Bank of Ghana to increase its policy rate and reserve requirements for the banks to reduce lending, whilst the government also must cut its expenditure to slow growth. Dr. Pepra told Joy Business the rising inflation will worsen the cost of living for Ghanaians.
Inflation simply means, as a country, we are spending more than we produce our goods and services. So government may have to also look at a way to reduce the spending activity in the country. First, government may have to check its own spending. When government does that, the impact is that government will have to revise its growth rates that they have set for 2022. So the 5-point-something set, I'm sure if government wants to stop the inflation, they must revise it lower, and government must reduce its expenditure. Central bank, as has already been mentioned, must be thinking of bringing what we call the contrasting monetary policy. That is, one, increase monetary policy rate so that it will control inflation, and two, also increase the reserve requirement for banks. In that case, banks will be limited by giving more money or putting more money in the economy. In effect, we have to intentionally, as a country, slow down the growth, be able to curtail what we are seeing now. If not, if it goes like this, it's going to go around the 1998, 1999, 2000 period where inflation was around 40%. And if we don't take care, by August, we'll be hitting around 40% inflation. So government must have an intention to make sure that it slows down growth.
Reacting to the projection, partner at accounting and auditing firm Deloitte Ghana, Yao Lata, said the dynamics could change, hence nullifying the prediction.
I mean, it's similar to the price of fuel. So at the beginning of the year in January, someone predicted that you end price of per liter of fuel at 7 Ghana cedis. And today we've gone way over that, we're over 10. So it's the same thing. You can't predict the uncertainties. We are in a period of significant uncertainty. And so 40%, it's possible we could get there. But I think it's up to the managers of the economy to put in the right measures. If the inflation we are seeing now is as a result of external factors, what policies can we put in place to mitigate the impact of external inflation? So,
some stakeholders in the banking sector say the high inflation rate could negatively impact interest rates, affecting the loan books of lenders. Data released by the Ghana Statistical Service this week shows that inflation rate increased to 23.6%, the highest in 8 years. Some financial observers have called on the Bank of Ghana to respond by upping the policy rate to stabilize prices. Reacting to a question on how recent development will impact Car Bank at the Ghana Stock Exchange's Facts Behind the Figures session, the Group Head of Treasury, Philip Dodefin, said the bank is observing the macroeconomic trends to avoid bad loans.
Considering the rate at which inflation is moving and also interest rate is moving, you cannot exactly indicate as to when the breaks will be. However, what we are seeing on the market is that it's having a direct impact on the the bond market. It's also having a direct impact on the FX side also. However, what we are seeing is a lot of bondholders are now being careful to trade on a short end or to purchase on a short end, not to go too much into the long term or medium term because of the rate at which we are moving. And that's also having a direct impact on GR. And people are also monitoring these two variables. Once the interest rates are moving, customers are prepared to go on a short end to take advantage of the repricing that we are seeing. However, we have to monitor what the regulator will be doing as a central bank in terms of next MPC, what will be the next policy rate direction, and that will also direct what the market will be doing. So these are the few things we'll be monitoring, and we believe that the market is still fluid and it's not stable at the moment.
And where do you believe policy rates go to?
Definitely, they would increase what we are seeing both on non-food inflation and food inflation going up. The regulator would definitely have to consider all these variables and maybe adjust the MPC the next meeting. So we believe that they will definitely edge up, and that will also influence the interbank market, that will also influence the bond market, and also that will affect the total interest rate markets going forward.
Firm Deloitte Ghana Ayitey is urging the Bank of Ghana to further adjust the policy rate to reduce inflation to an appreciable level.
The statement that was released with the new inflation figures attributed the cause of the inflation to two main factors, which obviously food inflation and non-food inflation. So in the last 4 months of the year, inflation has averaged over 18.2%. And a significant component of it has been non-food inflation. And the non-food inflation has been caused by some of the indirects that were introduced in 2021 budget. Going forward, we've seen that the effect of the global pandemic, global conflict, and then the cost of oil, rising cost of fertilizer is affecting food prices. And so food inflation is now a key factor, the key driver of the inflation rate that we are seeing. The problem is, interest rates will only be attractive, or interest rates will go high to attract savings so as to avoid a lot of cash chasing money. The issue is if the cost of food and the cost of non-food items are increasing higher than the return that people get on their investment, people are not going to invest. People are going to liquidate their investment and use to buy goods and services, because the returns on investment is not enough to compensate for any savings that are made. So I think that for now, if you are going to adjust interest rates, the interest rate adjustment should consider any adjustment that will mitigate the impact of the depreciating local currency. So if we stabilize the local currency, we can manage the inflation. Because according to the finance minister, and obviously if you look at the inflation results, significant component of the inflation as we have now is imported.
Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobina-Enim has justified this year's April inflation rate, rejecting suggestions it is being understated. The concerns say 23.6% rate for last month does not reflect current development on the market. Some observers have said that the figures should have been higher than what's been put out. But speaking on PM Express, the business edition, Professor Samuel Kobina-Enim insists that the data reflects development on the ground.
From my point of view, it's not really about whether it should have gone lower than the 19.4 or higher than 19.4. I think the reality on the ground, what you hear people saying is that prices of commodities keep changing. I think what we were not too sure about was the extent to which the price would change between March 2022 and April 2022. And George, this is one of the reasons why we are emphasizing understanding the immediate effect and the pass-through effects. Yesterday, we put a fourth item out of the 13 divisions that recorded a higher than national rate of inflation, which was household equipment and maintenance. I had earlier on also indicated that bus and trotro fares with a weight of 5.8 recorded an inflation rate of 29.7. George, if you take these two items moving forward, there is potential pass-through effect. And what that simply means is that if house owners are incurring higher costs in terms of household equipment and maintenance, the tendency of passing on this through rent, which is also one of the 307 items, is very high. So we might not have effect of wherever the source of household equipment is, because of the potential that house owners would also pass on this through rent to final consumers. And clearly the effect through the bar straw fares need not be mentioned, because we all know. Because if that keeps on increasing, then the other chain on the system would also be varying.
I get from this was a past event, and looking at the past event, that was indeed a true reflection. I
mean, this is based on April 2022.
And the stands by what they've put out.
Yeah, and we are yet to release May 2022 inflation. So if we don't think about policies that will sort of dampen the effects or dampen the potential effect of household equipment and maintenance and increasing bus and trotro fares, it's going to reflect in the inflation that we're going to.
You're still watching Prime Business. Still to come in the bulletin, Ghana National Tomato Traders warn of a shortage of the vegetable, saying that it will continue till the end of May. Stay with us for more.
We start getting tomato from the farm gates like Akomadine, Tiobodom, and then eastern region, Begro. Okay.
National Tomato Traders and Transporters Association says the shortage of tomatoes in Ghana will continue till the end of May. Chairman Eric Ose-Tufo says its members are getting less than 5 truckloads a day instead of more than 50 it normally imports during the lean season. Next on food chain, Prince Appiah speaks to relevant stakeholders on why Ghana's over-dependence on Burkina Faso for tomatoes has resulted in these shortages. Here's a bit of his conversation with Mr. Tufo.
So we are still importing from Burkina.
Exactly.
We know it was Burkina for a long time, but why Niger? Now why are you going all the way to Niger as well to get tomatoes to that?
Niger people also have joined the business because they know how we patronize Burkina-based tomato. So they also have started growing tomato, but it's not enough like what we get from Burkina Faso.
So within this 6 months period, I remember the last time we spoke, you mentioned that we import between 90 to 100 trucks of tomatoes into Ghana from these countries during this period. Why are we experiencing shortage in Ghana now?
We are experiencing shortage in Ghana now because of the Boko Haram system, which is going on in Burkina Faso. They've captured the northern part of Burkina. So when we start on December, we get some from their southern part. But when it's getting to from April ending to May, we proceed to the northern part. It's where the Boko Haram people have captured the whole area. So they all rushed and then left the area. So the tomato was there and it dies. At that time, you know, tomato, there is need for you to feed with water and others, because of the disturbances of the Boko Haram. Some of the farmers were shot dead and then they all left the area. So that place is where we get enough tomato at this time that we are experiencing shortage in Ghana.
Some of the Ghanaian transporters still there, or nobody is now, you know, going there to get the tomatoes?
Some are still there. Even 3 days ago, 2 trucks, they were captured by the military government. They went there and then killed about 30 of the Boko Haram people. So immediately they saw our 2 trucks coming with tomato. They parked them, asked them to get down. They slept on the ground for about 2-3 hours before they were released to come to Ghana. So our people they are much afraid about the Boko Haram system.
Did they allow them to bring the tomatoes?
Yeah, they were allowed. Just 3 days ago.
Okay, so those tomato trucks are in Ghana?
Yeah, they are in Ghana. They offloaded yesterday.
They offloaded yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
So some good news, at least you are going to get some tomatoes.
You will get it, but the price is very high.
Wow.
Because we are buying from Burkina Faso and Niger 140,000 CFA to 150,000 CFA. So when you change to Ghanaian cedi, it goes about 2,100 per box. And look at the minor expenses, including transportation. So tomato will shoot to about 3,000 per box.
Which ordinarily would have cost how much?
Oh, when we started from January up to middle of April, the maximum price was 1,002.
1,002
per box.
And it's now pegged somewhere 3,000.
3,000, 2,080.
Wow. So at this point that most of your members, the transporters and traders, are afraid, obviously for the right reasons. They must be afraid of their lives going to Burkina and Niger to bring tomatoes. What is going to be the situation? What are we going to do now?
Oh, you will still experience shortage because our local tomato, there is none at the moment. Yeah, we start getting tomato from the farm gates like Akomadine, Tiobodom, and then Eastern region, Begro, by next month. So from now up to ending of May, there will be still shortage of tomato within the country.
You know what, we're going to be having more of this on Food Chain on Saturday at 6 p.m. So please make a date for that. But that's how we wrap up Prime Business with me, Charles Ayitey. Coming up next is Prime Sports. Just stay with Joy News.